My name is Oscar Goodrell, and today we will be doing. This is March 2022 SAT, the SAT test. We will be doing section 3 today, and I hope you find great value in this video. Let's get started. For the first question, in the 1884 U.S. presidential election, candidates James Blaine and Grover Cleveland received a total of 400 electoral college votes. The number of electoral college votes Blaine received B was 37 fewer than the number of electoral college votes Cleveland received C. Which system of equations represents the situation? So there was a total, right, of 401. So B plus C, 401. And then it says that the number of electoral college votes Blaine received B was 37 fewer than Cleveland received, which means that it would be B, which is Blaine received C minus 37 because it's fewer, and that brings you to the answer of, let's see, right here. So B plus C is 401. You can cancel these out. Oops. And then you can B is equal to C minus 37. So choice C is our correct answer for question 1. Question 2. What value of P satisfies the given equation? So you have 2P plus 6 is equal to 8 plus 7P. You can get the P's on one side and then the numerical constant on the other side. So you can do minus 2P on both sides. 6 is equal to 8 plus 5P, and then minus 8 on both sides. 5P is equal to negative 2. And then to get P by itself, you divide by 5. P is equal to negative 2/5, which is choice B. That's how you do question 2. Question 3. Which of the following could represent the graph of the linear equation y is equal to mx plus 3, where m is a positive constant? So when they give you a linear equation, you know this is slope form. So they give you the slope, which is m, and then they give you the y-intercept. The y-intercept is on the y line right here. Always be right. Oops. Be right here. So, okay, so they tell you that it's plus 3, meaning that the y-intercept can't be, the answer can't be D or B, because it has to be in this region right here. Now, m is a positive slope. If it's a positive slope, then you know the line goes up. Negative slope meaning that line goes down. And A is not correct because this shows negative slope. So we know that our answer has to be choice C. That's how you do the problem for this. So you just basically have to remember the slope, the form of the line, and then remember that m having a positive slope meaning it goes up, negative slope meaning it goes down, and then y-intercept depends on if it's positive, negative, up or down the x-axis. Next question. You have the equation y is equal to radical hg over x relates to the positive numbers g, h, x, y, which equation correctly expresses h in terms of g, x, and y. So basically what they're asking to do is manipulate the equation so you have h by itself. So what you do first, you would have to square both sides, right? So you can get rid of the square root. So then you get y squared is equal to hg over x, and then you can multiply both sides by x to get xy squared is equal to hg, and then you can divide it by g to get h by itself. And then you get your answer of h is equal to xy squared over g, which would be choice, it's not this one, not this one, not this one, choice D. And then that's how you do number 4. So basically what you have to do is like take it step by step and just approach it calmly. Just the tip for this, approach equation step by step. Question 5. If they give you the absolute value function, x minus 1 equation, I should say. If x is the solution to the given equation, what is the possible value of x minus 1? So when you're solving absolute value equations, you can have 2 possible answers. You can have where x minus 1 is equal to 8, or x minus 1 is equal to -8, because absolute value makes everything positive. Absolute value makes everything positive. Okay. So if we solve for x, so if we don't even have to solve for x because they're asking for the possible value of x minus 1. So one possible value is x is equal to 8. Another possible value is equal to x is equal to -8, because those are the two possible values you could have when you solve this equation. And so when you look at the answer choices, A is our correct answer for 5. So the tip for this is to realize that you don't have to solve for x because they're asking for the value of x minus 1 right here. So if they were asking the positive value of x, then you could do x minus 1 is equal to 8, solve for x, you get 9, x minus 1 is equal to -8, and then add 1, x is equal to -7. So those were the two possible values of x, but they're asking for the value of x minus 1, so these two would be the two correct answers. Question 6. The graph of the linear function f is shown. Which equation defines f? So basically what they're asking for us to do is to determine what is the equation of the line, which is y is equal to mx plus b, and get it from this graph. So what we do here first is to determine y-intercept. Y-intercept can be determined on the line on the y-axis. So wherever it crosses the y-axis, it crosses right here, and we know that this is -8. So we know it has to be either A or C. So now what we do is determine slope. Slope is equal to rise over run. So we can start at a point right here, let's say 0, -8, and then we can stop right here, which is 4, -2. So we rise 6, run 4. So if we do rise over run, we get 6 over 4. Simplify, you get, so divided by 2, you get 3 over 2, which is the slope. So then our line full equation would be 3 over 2x minus 8, which is choice C. I mean choice A, sorry, my bad. Choice A. So that's how you do this question right here. You just have to break down the question and break down the parts of the y equals mx plus b equation. Question 7. A research institute conducted a phone and mail surveys. The total cost of conducting these surveys was $5,000. So we can write that piece of information. The line shown models the possible combinations of phone mail surveys that the institute could have conducted. According to the model, what was the cost for each phone survey conducted? So the best way you could do this is by determining. So what they're asking is for the cost for each phone survey. So what you could do is here you could assume that there are 0 mail surveys. And how would you do that? You would start at the point right here, because it'd be 0. It'd be 0 mail surveys and 125 phone surveys, and it gives you a total of 5,000. So what we could do here is a total of 5,000 divided by 125 to get amount per phone survey. So if you do that, you do 125 5,000, you get 4 500 0, and then bring the 0 down, 0. So you get $40, which is choice C. So that's how you would do this question right here. Now let's say they were asking for the total cost of each mail survey. You would start at 200. So you're starting at 200 a mail surveys. Then it would be 200. Then it would be 5,000 divided by 200, and then you would cancel the zeros, and you get $25 per survey. That should be math. Okay, so that's how you would do that question. Question 8. Which expression is equivalent to 5x cubed minus 2x plus 1 minus 2x cubed plus 2x plus 1? So this is algebra focused question. So what you have to do here is be organized and neat when solving this problem, and always to remember to distribute the signs to every single component of the polynomial. So what you have to do is subtract, distribute the negative signs, you get minus 2x cubed minus 2x minus 1, and then just combine like terms. Combine like terms. So these are like terms, these are like terms, these are like terms. So then you get 3x cubed minus 4x, and then the ones cancel out. So then you're just left with 3x cubed minus 4x, which is choice C. And so that's how you solve this question. And now we are moving on to question 9. This is geometry based. So, okay. So we have to do for this question, this is a geometry question, geometry based. The SAT likes to ask a lot of geometry, not a lot, but a good amount of geometry questions with circles, triangles, rectangles, all the basic shapes and squares. So the question reads, triangle ABC right here and triangle DEF each have two angles measuring 35 as shown. So right here. Which of the following additional pieces of information is sufficient to prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF? Okay, so there are various ways of showing congruency. You can have angle, side, angle, 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 side, or side, angle, side. Since they give you two angles, right? They give you an angle here, an angle here. So it'd be angle, 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 angle. And there has to be a side here or a side here. Choice A, the measures of angle AC, B, and D, F, E are equal. This doesn't help because angle will not show congruency. So that's out. B, the lengths of BC and EF are equal. BC and EF are equal. BC, so the way I check to make sure if it's correct by looking at the way it's ordered, ABC and DEF. BC would be these two, EF would be these two. So they are, it's an accurate statement. So we can have this as angle, angle, side, EF, angle, angle, side. This works. So we can have this as a possible answer. The length of AC and DE are equal. ABC, DEF, AC, AC, DE. That does not an accurate statement because they are not on the right sides. So this is incorrect. No additional information is necessary to prove that is incorrect because you always need a three component into proving congruency, which means that our answer is choice B. Choice B because it follows angle, angle, side method. Okay, so that's how you do this question 9. Question 10. Question 10. Which expression is equivalent to y raised to the 1/8 times y raised to the 3/4, which is also raised to 3/2. So we have to use the exponent laws right here. We know when multiplying with bases, we add, and then when we have power to power, and we multiply exponents. So right now we would do y raised to the 1/8, y raised to the 3/4, which is also raised to 3/2. So what we do here first, we would have to multiply these two. So 3/4 times 3/2 gives you 9/8. And then you have 1/8 times raised to the 9/8. And then you would add, it should be 1/8 plus 9/8 gives you 10/8. I'm going to do that. You would have 10/8. You can divide it by 2 to simplify to get y is equal to 5/4. And now since you have y is equal to 5/4, none of them, they're all in a radical form. So what you would do here is you would have power over root. The root would be the 4th, and then the power, it would be a radical 4 since the 4 is outside, and then the power would be 5. So it would be 4 radical 5 y raised to the 5th power, which matches choice A. So that's how you do this problem. You just have to know the exponent laws and just simplify with a power over root method right here. That's how you do question 10. Now let's go to question 11. Oh, this one. Trigonometry also is plays a small role, but they can always ask trigonometry questions. Trig questions. So what is the value of sine 3 pi over 4? You can either use the radians way or you can use the degrees way. I'm comfortable with the degrees way, so I'll show you that way. So the way I convert 3 pi over 4 into degrees, I do, you know that pi is equal to 180 degrees. So you could do pi 3 times 180 over 4. That gives you 540 over 4, which is 135 degrees, right? And then so basically what it's asking is sine of 135 degrees. So you don't have a calculator. What would you do in this situation? You would draw a graph. You would have it labeled as 0, 90, 180, 270, and then back to 360. And you would draw 135. 135 lies between 90 and 180. So you would draw an arc right here. It's an angle. So this would be 45, 45. You would draw a triangle, right triangle. This would be 45 degrees. This would also be 45 because this is a 90 because it's a right triangle now. So every right triangle has a 90-degree angle or right angle. We would have 90, 45, 45, 90, which is a very important triangle that you need to know, as well as the, the 90, 30, and 60 degrees. But in this situation, you would have to use the 90, 40, the 45, 45, 90 triangle. So what you would do here is now you know that with the 45, 45, 90, you have x, and then x radical 2. So in this case, x would be -1 because it's on the negative side of the graph. And you have +1 because it's going up, and then you would have radical 2 on this side because that's just how the identity is. And you can also find it on the formula sheet on the front of the section. And so what you do once you have that label, when you have the triangle labeled, you know that sine is equal to SOHCAHTOA, and that's basically gives you 1 over radical 2. But you can't leave this as 1 over radical 2. You have to, this is irrational. So what you have to do is rationalize it. So you multiply both the numerator and the denominator by radical 2 to get rid of the radical 2 on the bottom. That gives you radical 2 over 2. And now for the signs, when it comes to determining signs, you have to know all students take calculus. So this would mean that all trig functions are positive here. Sine is positive here. Tan is positive. And then cosine is positive. But since we're in this region right here, we know that sine is positive. And what do we have as our function? Sine, which means that it would be positive radical 2 over 2. And that is our answer, choice C. So that's how you would solve that question right there for 11. Just always breaking down the question and understanding what it's asking, and then just applying all the algebra that you guys have learned. Question 12. What is the graph of the equation y is equal to 2 raised to the negative x plus 1? So you know the equation 2 raised to the negative x plus 1. The first thing I would do is would be to plug in the basic numbers. Yeah, okay, so you plug in the basic numbers, but don't get confused. You can always also find the y-intercept first. The y-intercept is key. So you can plug in to find, let's say, find y-intercept. So what you have to do is y-intercept is at 0 comma some number, right? So you would have to plug in y is equal to 2 raised to 0 or negative 0 plus 1. Y raised to 2 negative 0 gives you 1 plus 1. Just y is equal to 2. The y-intercept is 2, not 1. A lot of students would fall into the trap that and they would say that y is equal to 1, which is not true because the y-intercept start is at 0 comma whatever number, and so you have to plug in 0 and for that equation and find what the value is. So based off that, you know that it can't be choice B, and it can't It can't be choice B. And then it's and then you can also plug in 1 to see like see how the graph is shaped. So we can plug in 1. So y is equal to raised to the negative 1 plus 1. This is basically 1/2 plus 1, which is 1.5. So if you see it somewhere here, you know that this way the graph is increasing, which can't be right, because when you have a negative exponent, it give you a smaller value. Increasing a negative exponent gives you a smaller value, so it can't be increasing. And this does not make sense either, because the number isn't getting negative, it's not decreasing in this manner, so D can't be right as well. So our answer has to be choice A, because once you plug in 1, it decreases, and eventually goes down into the asymptote. And so this satisfies the 2, 0, gamma 2 y-intercept. And then it also like goes down slowly. And so it has to be choice A for question 12. So that's how you do question 12. Next question 13. Yeah, okay, 13. 13. In 2005, 10 phlox plants were planted in a garden. The number of phlox plants increased by 140% each year. Which of the following equations best models the estimated number of plants P in the garden T years after 2005? So the model equation is A parentheses B raised to the X, where this is the initial. It's the growth. That's decay. And T is time. So you have initially 10 phlox plants, right? So then that would give you P is equal to 10, and then the growth X, which is similar, right? Right here. So, but it's not choice A or B, because it has to be the initial, which is right here. Now, the next thing is either the growth or decay. The number of phlox plants increased by 140%. So it's 10 raised to the 100% already, what is already happening, plus minus the rate X, meaning that P is equal to 100 times 100% plus 140% X, which should mean that P is equal to 10 times 140% X, or 10 times 1.4 or 2.4, sorry, 2.4X. And that would give you choice D. This, if choice C would be correct if it was 100% plus 14%. And then that would give you 114% X, and that would be 1.14X. That's not correct for this situation. That's how you do question 13. Just remember the model formula right here. This is very important. A lot of SAT questions are based off this type of situation / scenario. Question 14. The complete graph of the function f is shown in the xy plane. What is the y-intercept of the graph? Y is equal to f parentheses x plus 2. So the easy way to solve this problem is by moving every single point, or the easy points, and determining the the y-intercept from there. So basically what I would do is f of x plus 2 means you move towards the left. Fx minus 2 means move right. These are the transformations. Now let's say if it was f of x plus 2. These are the vertical transformations. They're horizontal. Meaning that it would be up 2. F of x minus 2 would mean down 2. And so that's what you would do. But now in this situation right here, you would have to move 2 points or 2 units to the left. So we would have to move this 2 units. So 1, 2, 1, 2 right here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You get the idea. It's basically moving it 2 units. And what you would get is something like this. just go up, 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 and then it's gonna go down, down, down. And so the new y-intercept, instead of being at 1, 2, being at 2, it's the new y-intercept is at 3. And so our answer in the y-intercept is always in the 0, form, meaning that it's a 0, 3. Our answer is choice A for question 14. So that's how you do this question. Just basically know the transformations and how the graph or like the function is affected with when it's a horizontal transformation versus vertical transformation. Last one. This is the hardest multiple choice question you'll encounter on the exam, or in terms of in section 3. So one of the question reads, one of the two equations in a linear system is 2x plus 2y is equal to 2. The system has 0 solutions. Which equation could be the other equation in the system? So what you have to do here is to know that, that's right, equation 2x plus 2y is equal to 2. So when the system has no solution, it basically has an identical x and y, but the output is different. So the only way that would make sense is by having 2x plus 2y is equal to some other value, which is choice D. A would not make sense because then if you solve it, you'll get some answer. Same thing with B. C, if you do it, you'll get a certain value. But having no solution means that you're having the same x and y, or same like identical part of the left side, but having different outputs, which would mean that only choice D would be the correct option for this question. So that's how you solve this question right here. Just knowing if there's no solution, then have the same question, same variables, but different outputs. Now we're moving to the gridding questions. For the given function g, what is the value of g of 8? And they give you the function g of x is equal to 2 plus x over x. They give you 8, so g of 8 is equal to 2 plus 8 over 8, gives you 10 over 8. You can divide it by 2 to simplify to get 5 over 4. And that is your answer for question 16. A simple algebra, simple plugging in numbers and solving. Question 17. Question 17. Line H is defined by y is equal to negative 8 plus 7. What is the slope of a line that is perpendicular to line H? So this is line H. The perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal of slope, meaning that since the slope of line H is negative 8, slope of perpendicular line is positive 1 over 8. And that is our answer. And then let's say the question asks for parallel lines. Parallel lines, same slope. That's how you solve this question 17. So yes, that's how you do question 17. 18. The solution to the given system equations is the ordered pair x comma y. What is the value of x? The solution to the given system equations is the ordered pair x comma y. What is the value of x? Okay, so to solve this equation, you would have to do know that x plus 2y is equal to 11, 3x plus 3y is equal to 24. To solve this equation, you would have to cancel out the y's to get x by itself. So you would have to cancel out the y's and find value of x. Okay, so the way you can cancel out the y's, you would have to multiply the top and the bottom equation to get the same y constant, the y coefficients. You can multiply this by 3, you can multiply the bottom by 2 to get 3x plus 6y is equal to 33. And then you could do 6x plus 6y is equal to 48. And so then you could do you could subtract the equations to get negative 3x is equal to negative 15. And then to find the value of x, you could divide it by negative 3 on both sides. You get x is equal to 5. And that's how you can solve the equation right there. So that's how you get the equation x is equal to 5, and that's how you could solve question 18. So it's basically knowing what to cancel out to get the other variable is key. So you also save time. Question 19. The rectangular prism A is similar to rectangular prism B, where the longest side of the rectangular prism A corresponds to the longest side of rectangular prism B. The table gives the volumes in cubic meters of the two prisms. The length of the longest side of the rectangular prism is 6 meters. What is the length of the longest side of the rectangular prism B? So the way to solve this problem would be by finding the common leg ratio. So you would divide 96 by 12 to get 8, because that's the ratio of the volume, the ratio of the volume. And so since now this is volume, right? You would have to know that it's m cubed is equal to 8. But now to solve to put in perspective of the sides, you would have to take the cube root of both sides to get m is equal to 2 as the ratio of the rectangular prism A to rectangular prism B, A to B. So meaning that if the length of the longest side of the rectangular prism A is 6, has to get what value of x of rectangular prism B would give you a ratio of 2. And so the way to solve this is you could do 6 is equal to 2x and x is equal to 3. And that will be the longest, that will be the length of the longest side of rectangular prism B. So it's just determining the ratio between the volumes, cubing the lengths, and then so you could put in perspective of the lengths of both prisms, and then putting that ratio, the numerical value, as a ratio of the two sides, of any two sides, and then finding the value of the length of the rectangular prism B. And so last question. One solution to the given equation can be written as x is equal to 5 plus radical n, where n is a constant. What is the value of n? So you can do this by first seeing if you could factor this equation. You can do x minus 10x plus 14 gives you 0. You can have products. You can also have sums, because it's product of two numbers, product of 14, and the sum of 10. Let me write that on top, actually. Product of 14, sum of 10. So you have two numbers, 2 and 7, that gives you 9. 14 and 1, that gives you 15. So there are no numbers or no factors that satisfy. So the way to solve this problem or this equation, you would have to use a quadratic equation. You would have to do x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You can label this as a, b, and c. So you just plug all these values in and then simplify. So what you would do is x is equal to negative 10 plus minus square root of b squared, which is negative 10 squared, minus 4 times a times c, which is 14, over 2 times 1. And then you simplify, you get positive 10 plus minus square root of 100 minus 14 times 4 is 96. Right? No. 14 times 4, 16, 56. Sorry, my bad. 16, 56 over 2. And now you have x is equal to 10 plus minus square root of 44 over 2. You can simplify the radical as radical 4 times radical 11, and that's how you get the radical. You can do that, and then you get you would do 2 radical 11, and then that would give you 2 radical 11 on this part. So you can have x is equal to 10 plus minus 2 radical 11 over 2, and then you could simplify this part right here. And then you could have x is equal to 5 plus minus 11, or radical 11. And that matches with what they have right here, which is x is equal to 5 plus minus radical n. And so the value of n would be 11. And that's how you solve this equation right here. And Yes, I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and please remember to contact us at info@embracetutoring.com to set up any personalized private tutoring sessions you would like. Stay tuned for future videos, and best of luck with your studies. We definitely encourage you to visit our Instagram as well as TikTok pages if you have any questions along the way. Take care, guys. Best of luck with your studies.